All right. Justin, will you go ahead and lead us in our invocation?
Yes, sir. Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we love you. God, we thank you for today. We thank you for this Christmas season. Lord, we just look forward to this meeting tonight. We ask that you give wisdom to our leaders. We ask that you give guidance as they make important decisions. And God, we just thank you for another day on this earth. We love you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Samantha, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. We'll start with a roll call. Misty Cottle.
Here.
Jeff Upton. Here. Jan Throgmorton.
Here.
Marty Lindaberry.
Here.
John Collins.
Here.
Dina McKnight.
Here.
Don Rollins.
What? Oh, yeah, here.
Jimmy Condiff. Here. Our city attorney and city clerk are both present. The first item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. I do have a amendment for the agenda. It is a resolution concerning the sewer project. It's what do they call these, Isaac? A consent order on the sewer project. So I would like to add that to new business item 6. Do we have any other amendments or changes to the agenda? Do we have a motion?
Make it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda with the amendment for the consent order. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. That motion carries. Next is the approval of our meeting minutes from our November 9th meeting. Do we have any changes to those minutes?
I make a motion that we accept them as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
That motion carries. Next is our public forum. Do we have anyone who would like to address the city tonight? Okay, we'll close the public forum and move into our business reports. First up is the Planning Commission. Walter is sick. Jimmy, you're going to give it to us?
Yes. Alrighty. Alright, on November 18th, we did not have enough for a quorum. And so no business was discussed at that time. And let's see here. I'm trying to remember, what's last Thursday? 9th, yes. 9th when we had our special meeting with Juliet Ritchie, where we further discussed the rezoning ordinances, which we are making headway on, and would really like a little more attendance. That way, you know, a lot of you, when time comes for you to vote, you'll have a little more insight on exactly what's going on, instead of having to basically try to read fast and play catch up.
Okay, any questions for Jimmy? No? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, our court report. Tracy?
My disbursements were down some this month, and the number of citations that were written were up just a little bit, like about 60. I do want to say that our prosecutor has been assigning a lot of people community service. So if you guys are aware of things that you're like, hey, free labor would be really good to get that job done, if they start showing up, if you want to send me ideas that you have so we can send them out to do stuff, I'd appreciate input. I mean, I can put them washing windows and pulling weeds and different things, and I am working with the other department heads. They have some things that people can do. But if you guys see something that you think somebody could do in a couple hours, and a couple of them are getting to work with fines, but most of them are in addition to their fines that they're doing their community service instead of going to jail. So but I'm really proud that we're offering that option for them. So.
Any questions for Tracy? Thank you, Tracy. Next is the library report. Blair?
Okay, so on your packets, it cut off the top, but our checkouts, the number should be 3297.
3197.
3297.
Okay.
All right, and then so we had Crystal Bridges Part 2 last week, and we made the Sunday paper. It was really fun. We had a lot of cultural activities. There was pottery making. There was collage art, a bluegrass band, a drum circle, all kinds of stuff. So it was a lot of fun, and I wanted to thank everyone for showing up to it. Also, Crystal Bridges gave us like 20 boxes of these, and we still have a ton left. So if you have any kids or grandkids that would want one, we have so many. So come by the library and pick one up. Some other events that we have, tomorrow at noon is the last day to put bids on holiday baskets for the holiday auction. So if you have anything that you want or have been looking at, tomorrow at noon is the last day to put a bid on it. Also, other upcoming events, we have a holiday crafts event on December 20th. And a New Year's Eve party on December 31st. We also have a physical newsletter now, as well as an e-newsletter. And so if you're interested, you can pick up a physical one at the library, or you can go to our website and sign up to receive our newsletter in your email. And then lastly, we also have brochures now. And so these are something that I put together just to let people know like what all you can do with your library card. So it's, it's for people who have just signed up to get a library card, but also, if you've had a library card for a long time and you're curious about all the things that you can do with it, you can come pick up one of these. And that's all I have.
So, any questions for Blair? No?
Thank you.
Blair, did you have any takers on that new book?
So many people have come to see it. I have kept 2 copies out, and it's like someone has it constantly. So it's been really popular, and it's so the 2 copies that I got I got them early, and so I didn't realize they weren't available until like just yesterday. So yes, as of yesterday, if you want a copy of Remote Access, which is a book that was just published featuring West Fork and the West Fork Library, you can go pick it up in bookstores now.
And has anybody been interested in the Synergist?
In the what?
Synergist? You'd sent out an email. I just wondered if anybody was interested in
I
that.
had one person
One?
interested.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't say who, but one person interested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Next is our police report. Sergeant Goggins.
Good evening. Chief can't be here. He's fighting a little bit of a bug, running a little bit of a fever, so I want to play it safe. Statistics-wise, we're at 296 calls for service, 52 warrants served. Just a couple things to cover that's happened last month. We finally got our new car, got it upfitted. Still have some little growing pains with some computer mounting hardware issues. We're going to get resolved shortly. We did get we mentioned it before, the public safety, I'm going to mess up the acronym, but it's a public safety grant from the state. We did get a partial award for that. Of the 30-something thousand we requested, we're actually getting about, I think, 23 or 26, I don't know the exact numbers. So basically, what they wanted, it was a combined grant for a body camera system and dash cameras that would all go to the same system, same server. They funded the body cameras, but not the dash cameras. So we'll be moving forward with that. We basically have the entire year, next year, I believe till December, to use those funds. So we're not going to get in a huge hurry on that. We did a little T&E with the company that we think we're going to go with, but the camera we thought we would like, the nicer one, the Cadillac model, turned up to have a gas model, looked like a Cadillac as far as batteries. So we were actually looking at going with the simpler model. And so we're going to kind of reach out to them, work out those details if they're going to be offended if we buy the cheaper camera. But we'll be working on that next year. And that's really about it.
Any questions for Sergeant Goggins?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Public Works, Isaac?
Just a couple things. Rehab is, all the pipe is in at the school, all the services are tied over. They like a little bit of cleanup, some asphalt repair, and then they will be moving on. This month we kept on to the meters, and I think to date we've got about 350 of them in the ground. So we will probably wrap that up shortly after the first of the year. We did put in 3 taps this month, 2 water, 1 sewer. That's exciting. And we put the valve in down at the school. So now we no longer have to shut the school out of water every time Night Street blows out. So, and we did discover a valve down there that was covered up. So, but that's about all I have. I will point out, with the new meters, we have been, I don't know how many calls Amanda's taken. We have been getting several calls of people's water bills going up, so that kind of tells us that we was losing some water through some meters, so we're hoping that we see a big difference in the water loss. I know my neighbor was one of them. Her bill went up like $14, so, and she was griping.
And it could be like me though, and have a leak, and it's awesome, because it tells you every day
Yeah.
how much water you're leaking.
Yeah, and I'll try to bring one of the endpoints in next month and explain to folks who watch this that how they can get the app and turn the leak notifications on and that. So it is really neat.
Are we having a lot of people sign up, Christy, for the app
So, she's given a lot of
information?
links out. So I don't know how many people have actually gone and signed up for it, but people seem to be
Most of
interested.
my neighbors around me I've helped get signed up, so they are on it too. So it is a neat app. That's all I got.
Any questions for Isaac? No?
Yeah, they put the.
Thank you, sir.
You betcha.
Yes.
Parks Department, Chad?
Parks Committee did meet last week, so I was able to get some minutes in your packet. And there were just a couple things I want to point out. One is that we are completely finished with the bike and pedestrian trail at Carter Park. We got our crosswalks in, our speed bumps as well, and all our signage. So, of course, it's winter, but there have been a lot of, not as many as I expected, but time of year and all, but there has been quite a few people down there using it. And we've got some really good feedback from those people that we've talked to so far. So, I don't know if y'all been down there, but if not, you need to go check it out. It's pretty nice. I'm proud of it. Also, we did host a disc golf tournament down at our disc golf course this weekend, and it's a 2-day event, and it was kind of a separate, but we wound up having about over 130 entries down there, so it was very successful as well. And then the only thing we obviously been working on Christmas lights, but also getting prepared for baseball and softball sign-ups, so we'll start next month as well. And that's really, as far as parks, that's all I got. And then I just want to thank everyone that was involved with the parade. I thought it turned out awesome. It was a good turnout. It was successful. I had a great time, and people volunteered their time and help and everything. I just want to say thank you, and I thought it was really good. So with that, I think that's all I got.
Any questions for Chad?
Did you compete in the disc golf tournament?
I did not this time.
Okay.
I had some
wondered if you won
things,
for
and
your
anyway, I didn't want to. What did you say?
I wondered if you won for your age group
I
this
did not.
time.
I probably would not, because there was about 4 or 5 other people in my age group, so I probably would not have won this time. But no, I have, and I enjoy it. And Isaac and I and Mark, even Chief Myers, we try to play it not every week, but we try to get down there and play, and we enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but I did not play in the tournament. There were some really good players in there.
Christy said she's gonna take your pen away from you if you don't quit hitting the post.
Sorry. I'll put it in my pocket. Christian, just keeping like the money, so. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all.
Fire Department report, Chief Myers.
Hey, keep your
Runs were down a little bit from the previous couple of months, but it's also more than it was this time last year. So our code drive so far has been great. To me, it seems like we've given out a lot more codes than we normally have. Well, no, we gave away, I think, 3 garbage bags full to 1 church organization, so it was great. The parade, the whole festivities, I thought went excellent. So blessed to be in this town and all those people coming together and doing. We had about this much chili left is all we had. So guys have already talked about trying to build on it for next year. So hopefully it'll go even better next year. With that, we just set a bucket down and was able to get the patrons, and I think another $116 we gave to Shop with a Cop. So not much, but anything we can do to help with them, greatly appreciate, I'm sure. So other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Chief Myers? Okay.
Sounds like I've got to go help these guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Thank you, sir.
Got a fire going now.
Very short-handed right now.
Christie, the council's been saving all their questions for you.
Alrighty. Okay, finances look about like they have for most of the year. We're up by $294,000. Our bank balances are budgets are $452,000 under budget, and we're staying right at 9% for a sales tax increase this year. On the water department, I do want to point out that our bank balances have actually decreased this year, but we are under budget. On that report, I don't know if that makes sense to anybody other than me, but it says down there the less the long-term obligations, so we always want that net income to be more than those long-term obligations. So the fact that we're 12,000 to the good is good for that department. We're not really 176,000 to the good. Does that make sense? We're at 12,000 to the good for that. So 12,000 overall for the whole year is not great, but that's better than where we could be when we have a $14,000 loan payment each month that's started. We wish we had a little bit more of a cushion there, but we'll take what we can get right this moment.
But real quick, just to point
Yes.
out, so Isaac has done a fantastic job with his budget. His budget is $175,000 under budget,
Yes,
but we've spent that cash on the loans.
long-term
Yeah.
obligations, right. And I didn't bring my financial report up here, but I think off the top of my head, the income for sewer this month was around 52,000, and our payment was, he's got it there in front of him, I'll let him say the number so I don't say the wrong number, but we were way ahead in income this month from what our payment to Fayetteville was, and I think that is 3 or 4 months this year that we've actually been to the good. So, and of course Isaac's got these projects completed at the school and on Westwood and all that. So at this point, we're kind of just waiting on a rain to see how much those help with the I&I. So keep our fingers crossed on that. The other thing that I've got in there, I just put in there for information, is the next bill. It's on the next page. The water department right now, we take credit card payments or credit cards that you can do over the phone or in the office, or you can go onto our website and pay by PayPal. We are going to get rid of both of those and go to an online system that's going to be integrated with our water system. So it's going to allow us to do paperless billing. It's basically going to allow us to get with times. People can receive text messages that their bills are due. They can go straight through that text message to pay their bill. The fees, because the water department absorbs those fees, the fees are going to meet in the middle. Right now we pay 1% approximately for the credit cards and 3% for PayPal. These are going to be 2%. but in the long run, it's gonna save us money in postage. We spend about $700 between what we pay for the cards that you get plus postage a month, just to send out bills. So I think we'll see a savings in the long run, but we're also gonna be offering, it's a 24/7 service, so people don't have to just pay when we're open. They can go to the website. There's if they call in, the phone option will ring. They'll be able to select an option that'll take them straight to a payment, so they don't have to go. They don't have to wait till we're there or whatever. So I think it's gonna be a really good thing. Amanda and I are excited. We have asked the company to wait till the end of January to implement it. They were like, we can kind of rush it, and I was like, this is a bad time of year to be rushing anything or to be training for anything new. So we hope to have that implemented by the 1st of February.
Any questions for Christy? All right, thank you, Christy. All right, moving along. Old business. Item 1, Heartland Advanced Medical Manufacturing Regional Cluster. We had a presentation last month concerning this, and we decided we would put it off to this month to discuss it. Is there any discussion concerning the Heartland Advanced Medical Manufacturing?
I have some questions, but I don't know if he needs to be here, but so we're supposed to have a 5 acre, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 acre flat area, what's it?
Buildable.
For whatever it is that we might potentially get. So are we responsible as a city for potentially going out and purchasing 5 acres? Okay.
Yep.
And then we just,
Or having it.
or having it. Do we have 5 acres somewhere laying around?
Do we have 5 acres? Probably.
Okay,
Possibly.
possible, okay.
I'm not sure how big some of these parts. No.
No.
Not in one spot.
No.
Not in one spot?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like
Right.
floodplain. We'd have to deal with that. I don't think the recycle center is what, 2 acres maybe?
Maybe.
So, no, that would be
So then we would have to
something.
go purchase 5
Correct.
acres. So then, my next question then is if we invest in this 5 acre, which land isn't cheap these days, if we invest in that, are we guaranteed
No,
that that's?
We're not guaranteed
So,
nothing.
cause that's,
No.
so then we could potentially buy up some 5 acres that some other company might wanna come in and guarantee, I mean, if they buy it, they're guaranteed to use it.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I understand correctly.
You're on the right
So-
page.
Okay, so then we would be buying up 5 acres that we are just throwing money at, that we aren't guaranteed to get any industry to come in, and then no one else could come in and purchase that from us. Unless we decide to sell it and be like, no, we're pulling out of this agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I got it.
And on top of that, they're asking for $1,000 a month.
Jeez.
Okay.
I saw it more as a way to finance something for someone else to do something.
I think it's a fantastic program. I think
Good idea.
It is a good
West Fork may
idea.
be a little too far off the beaten
See, that's
path.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We're a little far off from the grid that they're shooting for.
Mhm. I mean, it's called the Highway 62 corridor.
Yes.
So,
Because I mean, if they could guarantee, like, we are guaranteeing each one of these partners at some point in time is gonna get something, I would be like, sweet, that's a good investment, because we all know we need growth and business, but if they can't guarantee it, then I hate for us to throw our money, I mean, I'm just thinking.
Nope.
I hate for us to throw our money away and not be guaranteed any show for our investment. But anyway, I just wondered.
You're
about
on the
those
right track.
questions.
Is
Okay.
acreage about 10,000 an acre in town? 15?
No.
so we're at
Are
about
you serious?
Yeah, right now.
25 to 35.
25 to 35 per acre?
And we
Yeah,
have
'cause-
some lots that have been advertised at 70,000 a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because right here, we're paying for this one by the library.
Yeah,
Do we,
that's true.
so do we want to do anything with this?
Do we need to make a motion to opt out or?
I think,
I have a question.
I think we need to get in
Before-
agreement and move forward, yeah.
Can we support the $1,000 a month? Is that something we could do?
I don't think, I think it's gotta be all in.
No.
The
You
land,
have
to do both.
and everything.
yeah,
Yeah, the proposal you had to do both.
yeah,
I kind of feel like we're a little ways out of their way. I mean, we're not on 62.
no.
We're not the
And
62
that's where
corridor. We're the
everybody
71.
met and drove is 62.
Yep.
Which I think too, we would need to look and see, is there even 5 acres? Because
Yeah.
if there's not even 5 acres anywhere that's buildable like in town, then why would we even consider it?
Right.
You know, anyway,
There's some land.
I'll make a motion, we opt out.
on the,
So we have a motion.
Hot stir.
6. 6.
Yeah.
So we have a motion on the table that we opt out of this.
Second.
We have a motion and second that we opt out of this. All of those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. That motion carries. We will not be participating in the Heartland Advanced Medical.
Well, oh, at me. Oh, John.
John,
I made the motion.
Yeah, I never heard a motion.
No.
all right. Next item of old business is a one-time lump sum pay increase for current employees in the amount of $1,500 for full-time employees and $750 for part-time employees.
I'd like to discuss this before we do anything,
Okay?
since I wasn't here for the little meeting.
Little,
Because I was on
little
vacation.
meeting?
Was it a little one, or was it a big one?
You weren't here.
It was a big one.
But
Go ahead.
I heard, you know, what was discussed and everything, that we're not using the CARES money,
Correct.
okay? We're still doing the projects that it was assigned for.
Correct.
So, I still think it needs to be more than 1,500. The inflation this year is 6.8%.
Actually, they're saying now 9.
Okay, and we're giving up to 5% raises. Some people, you know, more, a little less. I say we take care of our employees. It's coming out, we're above budget. I say at least give 2,000. I wanted 25, but I would, you know, take care of our employees. We're not giving them the raises they should because, you know, nobody is. We're not over on the other side of the street either. But, you know, I feel we need to take care of our employees. They're doing an awesome job. I say we give them 2,000.
What about, that's for full-time, what about part-time?
Then it would be half.
Oh, okay.
And so you weren't at the last meeting,
I wasn't at the budget meeting.
at the budget meeting,
Yeah.
correct? And so I'm assuming with your presentation, you have some line items in mind that you would like to carve that extra.
We're above how much? 295,000 of our projected income?
So you just want to take extra money that wherever we're going to be, money we're going to be putting in reserves, you just want to
Yeah.
take an extra
Because how much are we under budget totally? Because that,
400,000.
okay. And then we're above our projected 295,000.
Projected income.
Right, we have cash of 295,000 currently, or 200 and something thousand.
How many full-time employees do we have?
We have 26 total, and the majority of that is full-time.
Okay.
I just think
294,000, yeah.
we need to show our employees and take care of them. They're not getting the raises they should, but nobody is. But the way inflation, it ain't gonna stop. You know, it was projected, I thought, 2 weeks ago at 6.8, but now,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. You know, nothing's going down.
Right.
So that's my spiel.
Okay,
You know, I wanted 25, hey, I'll settle at 2.
2 and 1.
Yeah.
And where are you taking it out of? Again, what was it taken out of?
General budget.
General?
Yeah, that's where it's coming from anyway. We're not taking away from
Okay, I
projects.
was just
Yeah,
asking.
no,
Christie?
So I just want to clarify, so when we
Yes, ma'am.
do salary, it's gonna come out of each
budget.
Yes.
Each budget salary line item will be
Yes.
affected, but the overall budget will still
Yes.
balance that out.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, is that a motion, John?
Was anybody else gonna discuss? Cause if not, I'll make the motion.
Is there any
I'll second
discussion
it.
on that?
Okay.
I beat you, I second it.
Why are you kidding me?
Anybody
I
else?
wanted 25 to start with.
Yeah, she seconded it, or one of them did.
Misty seconded
We
before
got
we got a
second and the
motion.
third.
Is there any discussion?
I'm just curious.
Yep.
Because last time, I think our police chief mentioned some numbers from neighboring towns.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we fall, which I know now it's different pots of money.
The-
So I get that it's not the same thing anymore.
Yes, it ain't coming out of CARES.
Right, but we were trying to do what other cities were doing to show appreciation to our
Yeah.
employees.
Other cities are doing, most
Every,
cities are doing
everyone,
25.
everyone has been 25 except Prairie Grove. They give every employee $6,000.
So I was,
That's,
What green?
so water and sewer at Prairie Grove got
If they do
2,500. I don't know what fire
They
and
do it
police
all
got.
for one.
They got 6,000.
So
I was
Elkins,
told every employee.
If they do it.
Elkins is proposing $1 per hour, so that'd be $2,080 is what Elkins is proposing.
So
So my
we'd be
question-
okay,
They would use
if we'd be right in line with 2,000.
Rescue.
that's what I was kind of getting at though, is like, so if
We
we
would be
look
right
at
in line.
towns our size in proportion to, like,
Where'd Mark go? What
Prairie
green?
Grove's
Greenland
bigger
got
than us,
25.
Farmington's bigger than
Yeah.
us. Like in terms of, because the money was based on citizens, right?
The CARES Act was,
Right.
yes.
And so I get that we're not taking out of CARES money, like
Mhm.
I understand that
Mhm.
concept, but if it was based on the number, like your population,
Mhm.
okay, so like, we aren't as big as Prairie Grove, we're not as big as Farmington, so are we in proportion to,
Like Greenland got
Greenland got
2,500 and so did Goshen.
Yep.
okay. So that, I don't know the
Yeah.
numbers, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm asking, because I hate for us to compare ourselves to towns that aren't
Yeah,
anywhere near our size and didn't get the
Yeah.
same, and we didn't get anywhere near the same amount of money.
yeah.
We'd
So
be-
that's what I'm asking.
We'd be in line with 2,000, I think.
We would.
And if we have it, I'm in agreement, we should do it.
Uh,
I'm with
To show
John.
some.
They
Yeah.
need some appreciation because things are tough,
And
and
it's gonna get tougher.
exactly. So I don't think it's a problem to give them two.
So do we do roll call on this or?
Well, we'll see if we need to.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any other discussion on it before we? No? Okay, so we have a motion
Yep.
with John, a second with Jan or Misty, okay?
We have a second.
We have a second. Do we need a roll call on this?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of passing a one-time lump sum pay increase for current employees of $2,000 and $1,000 for part-time employees, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Say yes.
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 Those opposed, no. That motion carries. Good. All right, we'll move into new business. Item 1, Resolution 2021-08 to approve the 2022 budget.
I make a motion that we approve the, whatever this is, to approve it.
Did it just
The resolution to approve the budget.
Resolution to approve the
Did it just get
budget
amended
for
The budget?
2022.
through that?
No, because that was
Second.
coming out of reserves, correct?
I'm sorry.
We don't have to amend the budget for the passage
We'll do an amendment at the end of the year for all of it.
for the current budget. Yes. All right. So we have a motion to approve item 1 of new business, the 2022 budget. Do we have a second?
Yeah, there was.
Well, okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. That motion carries. Item 2, ordinance 504, waive competitive bidding for the sale of property on Centennial Avenue. Do we have any discussion on this?
make a motion that we approve the 504.
Second?
Do you want to suspend the rule and have that read on?
Yes, please, let's suspend the rule.
Yes.
So we're gonna suspend the rule,
And read it by title only.
okay? And we'll do that by roll call. Misty Cottle,
Yes.
Jeff Upton,
Yes.
Jan Throgmorton,
Yes.
Marty Lindaberry,
Yes.
John Collins,
Yes.
Dina McKnight,
Yes, just
Don Rollins,
Yes.
Jimmy Condiff.
Yes.
Okay, so that motion carries.
I think Don was the second on that. I think so.
And so next,
You think so too?
we would be looking for an ordinance
To approve.
to
Motion
approve, I'm sorry, a motion to approve ordinance 504.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 504.
And I'll second that.
And the attorney will read it by title only.
Once you get there, you will. It's an ordinance to waive competitive bidding as it relates to the sale of certain property within the city of West Fork, Arkansas.
Okay. So, voting on that motion to approve this, to waive the competitive bidding, Misty Cottle,
Yes.
Jeff Upton,
Yes.
Jan Throgmorton,
Yep.
Marty Lindaberry,
yes.
John Collins,
Yes.
Dina McKnight,
Yes.
Don Rollins,
Yes.
and Jimmy Condiff.
Yes.
That motion carries.
So, yeah, you gonna close this month?
We are hoping to close this week.
So we need to pass the motion
Yes.
emergency clause then?
I gave her your information and told her to contact you with the date.
Okay.
I have to send her this tomorrow.
Yes.
So we better go ahead and pass the emergency clause then.
Okay. So do we have a motion to pass the emergency clause?
I'll make that motion.
And
I
I'll
second
that.
Did you get that, Ann?
A unanimous second.
Hey, we didn't waste some time.
All right.
Right.
On a motion,
Spending money down
on a
here.
motion to pass the emergency clause, Misty Cottle,
Yes.
Jeff Upton, Jan Throgmorton,
Yes.
Marty Lindaberry,
Yes.
John Collins,
Yes.
Dina McKnight, Don Rollins,
Yes.
and Jimmy Condiff.
Yes.
That motion carries as well. All right, item 3, resolution 2021-09, authorize the sale of property on Centennial.
I make a motion, we approve it. We've talked about this enough.
Don Rollins is in with a second, a silent second for Don Rollins. So on this, we have talked about it, I just want to get it out there. We looked at other property sales. We broke that down on a per acre. The interested party on this, which he's been here, offered market value for it, roughly he offered $30,000 for the lot. We were wanting to get 50. He has agreed to make a $20,000 donation to the city at the time of the purchase of this property. Okay? So is everybody okay with that, clear with
Yes.
that? All right. So, we have a motion and second for this resolution. Do we need the emergency clause on this?
Nope.
Okay. Misty Cottle,
Yes.
Jeff Upton,
Yes.
Jan Throgmorton,
Yep.
Marty Lindaberry,
Yes.
John Collins,
Yes.
Dina McKnight,
Yes.
Don Rollins,
Yes.
and Jimmy Condiff.
Yes.
So that motion carries. Item 4, resolution 2021-10, authorize the purchase of property adjacent to the library.
Yep. Wait. Let somebody else do it, okay.
Do we have any discussion on that?
Nope.
Do we have a motion on that?
I motion.
I second.
All right, so we have a motion and second to authorize the purchase of property next to the library for $37,500. Is that correct? Blair, do you remember?
I'm not sure I've looked at it in a while.
47.5?
That's what I was thinking.
You guys may be right.
It's
This has
more
been a
than
couple.
30, 37.
This has been a couple months ago. I think that's right. I think he
Yes.
paid 37, and then he had construction
Yes,
fees
he
and
wanted 5,000 over
profit.
or
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Okay, so 47.5 is what we had agreed on. We have an agreement in place, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
Do we have a motion on that?
Motion.
And a second? We already had that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did.
All right. Misty Cottle,
Yes.
Jeff Upton,
Yes.
Jan Throgmorton,
Yes.
Marty Lindaberry,
Yes.
John Collins,
Yes.
Dina McKnight,
Yes.
Don Rollins,
Yes.
and Jimmy Condiff.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Item 5 is the memorandum of understanding for the school resource officer. Sergeant Goggins will highlight us on the changes to that.
Basically, make a long story short, CJI, one of their offshoots, the Arkansas Safe Schools Coalition, has made themselves into a accreditation and training thing for SROs, which when they wrote the law basically said any full-time employee, any sworn law enforcement officer that was a full-time employee of the school is now an SRO. I don't care what you call it, the law says they're SRO, which ran into trouble because obviously, whether you know or not, we do have a teacher at the school that is also a part-time officer with us who's now, by law, an SRO. So that kind of was a little bit of an issue. We're like, well, wait a second. So he has to meet the training requirements the same as I do. So the MOU was basically updated to address those concerns of who's responsible for what, who's going to pay for that, and that's basically what the second page is about, how that's going to work, because they can't say they can't make him not a police officer. So he's not going to resign from working as a police officer, so we have to treat him like an SRO. So that's
So
the main.
is he going to the classes?
Yes, sir.
The SRO classes and everything?
He has to within 18 months.
If they use him as that, correct?
It doesn't matter.
No.
The law specifically says if you get a job as a teacher,
Gotcha.
if you're even though you're it doesn't matter
Gotcha.
because you cannot not be a police officer
Yeah.
unless he basically resigns here. He is an SRO according to the definition of the law.
So does that change our financial obligation?
Basically, some of this is I don't know how much this is public versus private,
Oh.
but it changes the fact of he's going to be paid basically a stipend from the school to the department and the department to him versus, if that makes any sense. It's basically the very last paragraph there
That's him?
to address that, since he could potentially be asked to do additional things above his teacher stuff, but that will come from us, the police department,
Oh,
billed through the.
So that's added on to the contract.
Yes.
Yes, sir. At that very last small
Yes, I
paragraph
see
it
it
says,
down now.
So he's actually getting some extra money?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
For attending school functions.
Just being a school
No,
record.
the school,
for being
the
a
school
school-
functions
For being there.
basically have to be
Extra.
paid out extra.
Extra,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
And there have been a few instances where he may have needed.
He's been asked to step up and do some things before,
Mhm.
just either because proximity issue.
Right,
He's right down the
exactly.
hallway.
Mhm.
Or for instance, last week
Mhm.
I finally was able to get into an active shooter training. Long story short, the active shooter training that we go to or try to go to every single year, where we go into the schools and bring the officers together. I was never an instructor for that, and we were always having to outsource for that, or just it's something you want multiple instructors to. It's not fun running that class by yourself. So I went to that class from last week, so I'm basically out of pocket all week.
Mhm.
So he's able to do that. But that's the main difference. The percentages haven't changed. The first page of it is all the same. The duties and agreements and how we divide that and who's responsible for what. None of that's changed since 2 or 3 years worth since I've been doing that. And that's the only change, is to address that change in the law that is making him an SRO, whether we want to call him that or not. That's what he is. So.
Well, he's in such 2 high-paying careers, so, if he gets a little bit extra money.
Yeah. He'll be rich soon, isn't he?
I'm just saying.
I'm wondering,
It's great to have him there. I mean, I know
Yeah.
I've worked in the same building as him and see him every day, but it's nice knowing that, I mean, you're there the majority of the time and available, but it's nice to know that we have somebody else in our district
Well,
if
absolutely.
something were to happen.
Today's a
So-
perfect example. I mean,
Yeah.
we had an officer sick, and
Mhm.
I literally got called to 4 different things, then back to the school, and then back to somebody, and oh, there's a dog over here to tell them that, and back and forth. So I mean, I was pulling in all different directions, and there's
Yeah,
lots of
it's a good
times
thing.
that or even just tied up at the high school or the elementary school, and something happens at the middle school. So he's kind of centrally located there. So it is a great resource to have
It
there,
is, yeah.
for sure.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And I assume that's a motion to pass the
Yes.
memorandum of understanding.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. That motion carries. Thank you, Sergeant Goggins.
You need this?
Do you need a signature?
Yes, please.
I don't think so. I think
Or no?
it's just ones.
Oh,
You just need a
sorry.
date on it.
Can he enter into a contract for the city
Is it?
So,
as a department head? Is it not a contract? Oh,
So-
gotcha.
Before we move into item 6,
The memorandum.
I'm just wondering if we can get a motion that will make sure that John Collins is never a teacher at any school.
Amen, brother.
Kit, what do
Not
you think
even a
about
sub.
that?
All right.
You said I'd sit down and shut up and shoot you.
Item 6 is our consent order with, this is from the state. The state basically asked us for one final deadline. We've asked for multiple extensions throughout this project. And so they were asking us for one final extension. When is your finished up date? We have told them it's December 31st of 2022. We have been at a bit of a slowdown with some of the closeout procedures at the sewer plant. Those have been resolved. We have fired a contractor who came in and were doing subpar work, and basically it came to a point where we said you have bid out work that you're not competent to do. So through Attorney Kicklack, and I think some other attorneys may be
Mostly
involved, Nick, we have fired them. That is official. We are ready to post bids for the remainder of that project, which is the ponds. So this past contractor was taking that out as a liquid and hauling it to Van Buren or Fort Smith. Huntsville, sorry. And it got to a point where Huntsville said, we can't treat this anymore, no more. So then they started looking to go to Van Buren or Fort Smith with it. Did I get off track with that?
No, Ozark, it just made Ozark better though. But, Mayor, since you paused, I think it was our contractor fired the sub.
Yes.
The contract was never with us.
Right.
And so they, when I say fired, they reached an understanding to just go separate ways, I think.
So we have someone, we've talked to another contractor that we used prior when we did a clean out on those ponds. They are going to dry out those ponds. We're going to pump the water off to Fayetteville. You'll see a high sewer bill coming up. We'll pump that water off, they'll dry it, they'll take that out in solids and land apply it in Ozark. So that is our plan to finish that project up. If you guys have been down there lately, there's mountains of dirt from every sewer project that we've been doing. We've been hauling it down there and stockpiling it. That's to go back in and fill those ponds up once they're cleaned out. So, any questions on this consent order? Any motions concerning this consent order?
Don makes a motion that we approve it.
Second.
I would be happy to make that motion.
You told me not to.
And Misty seconded, okay. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. That motion carries. Item D, other business. Do we have any other business for the council to discuss tonight? No?
Parade was really, really good.
It was awesome.
I loved it. And fire department, thank you for being everybody and all the work everybody did, and the lights look great, and I still like the tinsel lights. We had a conversation about this. I still like them, and everything just looks so good, and thank
She
you
especially
all.
likes the lanterns.
I thought they were cute still, but anyway, thank you all for all that you do, and
We'll bring
the
them to
parade
you
was
to
great,
see.
and I just love our town.
No, you're gonna give them
Okay.
again.
So, that's all my comments.
All right. So for mayor's comments, I too would like to thank everybody for the parade and the Christmas lights, specifically Susan, Jennifer, Ann, Blair, the Parks Department, Public Works, especially Danny. and Leslie for everything they did in planning that. I don't know if everybody has been made aware of some of the ugliness that is going around town concerning our parade and our Christmas lights. Blair, I do want to address that and ask the mayor. So,
Ugliness?
Yes.
Yes.
on Facebook, Leslie was reading it to me before I came up here.
Yeah.
And I think this is part of the reason why people, and even one of the winners, may not compete next year because of nonsense. But we had great Christmas lights. We had a lot of people that decorated that didn't enter. It looks wonderful. I drove around when Leslie judged, and it was nice to see the town lit up. We had some new judges this year. The parade, I think we had 38 entries in the parade. So it was fantastic. I wish we had some way of knowing how many people we had lining the streets that
There was
night.
a bunch.
It
Oh, my
was.
goodness.
It was great. So
We haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
really happy with that. I'm glad we were able to
The
do it
band.
again this year.
And the choirs, they were
Bands,
awesome.
choirs,
Basketball teams,
yeah. So,
cheerleaders, all-
Fantastic. Blair will do Ask the Mayor Friday. Are you good with Friday? I think I am too. And what? Want to ask the mayor?
3:00.
3 o'clock? And would you like anybody in particular to be there for that? All of the department heads seemed really eager.
We're definitely gonna plan that, but for
Okay.
this Friday, just leave this.
Okay. Blair may ask a council member to come and participate in that, so we're changing it up a little bit. I don't know. You guys surely watched that, didn't you?
Religiously.
We had an interview style. It was really nice.
So I haven't seen the Facebook stuff with y'all are talking
Yeah,
about, but
yes.
if people don't agree with the light judging, are they more than welcome to come be part of our committee meeting
absolutely.
next year and be part of the
They
judging
won't do
committee?
that.
They were welcome. They were welcome this year.
We would
Yeah.
love any and all citizens to come to our planning meetings and be a part and volunteer to be part of the judging team.
Yep.
Good luck with that.
So I am thankful to all of you guys. I think everyone was at the parade. All of the council members were at the parade. So thank you for that. John?
Hey, I make a motion. We adjourn.
I second it.
I start saying.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, wait, no.